The Torah says that Hashem has a hand, but isn't this just a metaphor? The Torah also says that Hashem loves us, but how can he have an imperfect human emotion? And what has this got to do with our relationship with him? In this video series, my goal is to release your mind and soul to be able to freely think about Hashem in the way the Torah talks about him. Now we have everything we need. When we stop getting lost in the philosophy, in the categories, we begin to realize what it truly means that we were created in Hashem's image. It means we have our own version of Atzmut. And suddenly, all the philosophical objections we raised earlier, the ones that claim Hashem doesn't really love and he can't really feel or care, they actually apply to us too. But we don't say that about ourselves, so why should we say so about him? We too have levels within us, levels that correspond to all these Kabbalistic structures. There are levels within us beyond suffering, beyond change, beyond being affected, and yet we don't view ourselves as mechanical or unreal. Yes, it's fascinating to map all this out philosophically, but none of that changes the simple truth. We feel, we hurt, we love, we care, we know, we experience. And it's not some lower part of us doing all of that. It's the real, highest us, the deepest unchanging essence, the ineffable self, me. So why assume Hashem is any different? This is exactly why Rabbi Freeman often says, when you say Atzmus can't, think about it. What are you saying? This is a statement that really needs to be questioned, because you can't limit him. You have to separate out all the philosophy, the level called Atzmus, and reconnect back to him, beyond all levels, the who, beyond all the what's, right? The real difference between us and him is that his love is even more real, even more essential, even more infinite than ours. It's coming from his uncreated self, his mechoyev HaMetzias, even more infinite than ours. Our love is just a mashal for his. So much so that the Rambam doesn't even call it a metaphor. He calls it a homonym throughout part 1 of the Mormon Nevuchim. And that is profound. Yes, of course, he is more real. He is eternal, like I said, mechoyev HaMetzias. And therefore, what is essential to him is objectively, ultimately essential. Torah and mitzvot. And you. If we think that our deep, very personal vulnerabilities are important to us, how much more so are his? They're eternal, they're never going to change, they're perfect and infinite. And now we can see how all of these phrases we often hear, like, it's just a mashal, or we can't understand, or it's only his expressions and not his essence, or we are nullified and nothing to him, or even, this applies only to one level and not the other. Things like that, they don't mean what people often assume. They don't mean that Hashem's actions or emotions aren't real, or that they're not authentic, or that they don't stem from his very essence, chas v'shalom. Quite the opposite. The Torah says it, the Rambam says it, the Zohar says it. They all speak about Hashem's hand, his love, his desire, and as we learned, even his need. All of it is true. All of it can be understood in the simple meaning. Let's now go back to Rav Hirsch's original example that sparked this entire discussion. Let's bring an example of how the Kabbalah, the most true and holy teachings of the Torah, truly explain it and how that fits with everything we've been saying. So the Ramban, Nachmanides, on the same passage in Bereshit 6:6, shows everything we've been saying. In his time, this truth was still considered a secret, not to be written down, but he does allude to it. And by the time of the Arizal, it became permitted to write it down. And by our time, we are even permitted to explain it clearly and in a down-to-earth, relatable, personal way, thanks to Chassidut. Here's what it means. In those Pasukim of Hashem regretting in his heart, Hashem's holy name is used. And it's used here to imply that yes, we are indeed talking about his real heart, Zer Ampin, that is as it's known in Kabbalah. And precisely, the heart of the heart, Tiferet, his attribute of Rachamim, compassion, with which this name is associated. So, you can say it like this. In his deepest compassion, he saw all the suffering of his vulnerable, precious children. And because his heart feels his own unified will and need for us, his own vulnerable connection and compassion for us, shone in his true and ineffable regret, in the unified infinite realm of his heart of Atzilut. And no, this does not imply any change in his essence. Why? Because we said, feelings don't change essence, not even in us. The unchanging essence of Hashem truly felt regret in his heart, and how can we not be moved by that? Rav Hirsch was right to insist that he prefers to take the Torah in the simple meaning. Without that, there is no feeling, there is no connection. And indeed, not taking it with feeling is the wrong thing to do. That's false, and it's very grave. So stay tuned for more. This video series has covered the essential points we set out to resolve. There is still more to explore though, separately, especially the differences between us and Hashem, which we didn't really cover here. And when it comes to understanding Hashem's ratzon, and even his need for us, there are some deep and sophisticated discussions about omniscience, infinity, and divine choice. They all deserve their own careful treatment. But none of those are going to detract from the core message here. If anything, they're only going to deepen it, of course, because what else would you expect from him? He's amazing beyond all limit, right? This video was made to help you free up your heart and soul, to truly feel for Hashem, to come close to him, and to learn Torah as what it truly is, a love note from him to you, because it is his self in writing. Also, this video series I also hope has clarified why I talk this way in my videos. Here, we take every word of Torah and even every statement of Chazal in the simple meaning, like Ani l'dodiva alai teshukato, I am for my beloved and his need is upon me, or Nichmeru me'ai le'Ephraim, my innards churn with longing for Ephraim, or B'chol saratam lo asar, in all their troubles he is troubled. These are from the Torah. And also things like Ki'ilu kiviyachol nifchata lo even merasha. It's like a weight presses on him, so to speak. Or like when the Rebbe said, Hashem needs us to console him. We take them all in their simple meaning. All of the many statements like these in the Torah and in Chazal, you're free now to take them in their simple meaning, with no extra clarification, qualification, or worry of heresy. The only thing you need to keep in mind is that it's so true, so real, so infinite, that you truly do not have the proper words to describe it. And this is the meaning of kaviyachol, so to speak, as we discussed in episode 3. Unless you are intellectually or philosophically curious, you should no longer need to worry about the theology of Atzmus. You should feel no hesitation, no internal resistance when speaking about Hashem. No need for disclaimers, no reflexive distancing or negation. Whether you're talking about him, thinking about him, or feeling about him, you can just do it. You can soar close to him, and you can help others do the same. You can explain to them and yourself the supreme importance of Torah mitzvot, not just for the world, but truly for him. Shkoyah.